أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي بمحمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم والعن عدوهم. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his progeny said, the clement person is almost a prophet. The clement person is almost a prophet. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله كاد الحليم أن يكون نبيا. كاد الحليم أن يكون نبيا. With Islamic laws, we reach to issue number 505. Nasiya, who missed her habit of time. That means she used to have a habit, but now she forgot about it. If somebody said how it comes she forgot, it happens. It happens sometimes. She is sick. Sometimes she is not aware about the time. Yes. Great. Or she was pregnant and she gave a birth, and after a birth she doesn't know when is her period. So it happens. So Nasiya is a woman who has forgotten her habit of time and duration. And such women are of various types. So this women, the Nasiya women, of various types. One of them is a woman who had a fixed habit of duration. That means she knows the number of days, a fixed habit of duration, and has now forgotten it. For example, she used to have 6 days, but now she doesn't know how many they are, 6 or 7, she does not know. And has now forgotten it if she sees the blood for 3 or more days. Now, here the hukum. If she sees the blood for 3 or more days, not exceeding 10. Now, we're going back to our rules, the original rules, that the blood, if it is not less than 3 days and not more than 10 days, all of it is what? All of it is hayd. Very good, excellent. If she sees the blood for 3 or more days, not exceeding 10, she will treat all of it as hayd. Okay, now this is the first case, the first situation. This that she sees the blood not less than 3 days and not more than 10 days. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, between these limits. So all of it is what? All of it is hayd. But if she sees the blood for more than 10 days, then she is classified as muttaribah. If she sees the blood more than, alaykum salam bab hayya. If she sees the blood more than 10 days, she sees the blood more than 10 days, all right? She is classified as muttaribah. Put in your mind which type we are talking with. My question is this. Nasiya, yes, you have to put it in your mind. We are talking about Nasiya. And Nasiya has different types. The first type we've taken, that she sees the blood. That, yes, with a fixed duration, but she sees the blood not less than 3 days, not more than 10 days, so all of it is what? All of it is hayd. Now the other thing, or the other type, that she sees a blood more than 10 days, then she is classified as مضطربة, and she will follow rules number 500 and 501. We have to write rules, not rule. Yes. Okay. Rules number 500 and 501. If you remember, she has to go to her relatives, and she has to choose one of their relative or one of her relative according to two conditions, and if she cannot, she has to choose a fixed number, and not more than 10, not less than 3, and it is preferable to choose how many? 7 days, and so on. With one difference. What is the difference? While determining her duration, she must know that the duration she is fixing is not less than her usual habit. If she knows, or if she is going to choose not less than her habit, so how we are going to say that she is nasiya? Yes, we are saying that she is nasiya because she cannot determine exact days. For example, 6 days, 7 days. She said either 6 or 7. Here we are going to say she is nasiya. Okay? But she has to determine the days not lesser than her days. Not lesser than her days. While determining her duration, she must know that the duration she is fixing is not less than her usual habit, nor can she fix a longer duration than her usual habit. So, similar is the case of a woman. The same hukum. She has to choose a number of days, or she has to go to issue number 500 and issue number 501, and not to choose the days lesser than her habit. Similar is the case of a woman who had a fixed duration, but it slightly varied each month. This woman, she had a fixed duration, but it slightly varied each month. For example, she saw blood for 6 days, and at times for 7 days in a month. Such a woman, if she is unable to decide on the basis of signs or the habits of her relatives, if you remember, why on signs? On signs because we ask her to what? To check the blood, the color of the blood, the signs of the blood. If she cannot, and that blood continue for more than exceeding 10 days, and it is the same signs, she cannot determine which blood is hayd and which blood is not hayd, she has to go to her relative. And if she cannot, she has to choose what? She has to choose number. Now we have this lady in her normal period, the days, the duration varied slightly. 1 month she sees for 6 days. The other month she sees for 7 days. This is the variation of the duration. So here the hukum is and at times for 7 days in months. Such a woman, if she is unable to decide on the basis of science or the habits of her relatives, etc., then she should fix her duration within the limits of 6 and 7 days. She has to choose either 6 or 7 days. Why 6 or 7 days? Before we mentioned she has to choose a number, one of it, either 6 or 7, one of them. Now, why she has to fix the limit of 6 and 7 days? Yes, you have the mic, please.
Because the duration that she's going to choose should be neither less than her usual habit or duration, nor longer than her duration.
My question is that, my daughter, why this Nasiya woman, she has to choose 6 and 7 days? Why? Before we said or we mentioned 7 days. Now 6 and 7. Why?
Yeah, Ala. It shouldn't be less than 3 days, nor longer than 10 days.
Say that again.
It shouldn't be less than 3 days or longer than 10 days.
No. We are not talking about this. She is going to choose a number of days. Okay, my daughter? And Sayyid here said 6 and 7 days. Why? Yes.
Because she has a doubt between 6 and 7.
Because her
between 6 and 7 days.
Yes. So, because her habit is slight variation, not fixed in duration. 6 days. That's it. No. 1 month is 6 days, the other month is 7 days. For that we said to choose 6 and 7 days. Yes, you're right. You're right. Thank you very much. Now we came to a new topic, various rules related to the hayd menstruation. Issue number 506. If a mubtadi'a, a mudtariba, a nasiya, mubtadi'a, mudtariba, nasiya, or and a woman with a fixed habit of duration. So, how many types of women we have? Mubtadi'a, mudtariba, nasiya, and a woman with a fixed duration, a habit of duration. 4 types. See blood with the signs of hayd, or are certain that the discharge would last for 3 days. She knows or she is sure that the blood will discharge for 3 days. Or are certain that the discharge would last for 3 days, they must abandon the obligatory prayer. She must quit what? Her salah. She must break her fast, okay? And to deal with herself as what? As a menstruated woman. But if they later understand that it was not hayd, why it was not hayd? Because maybe they do not have the signs of the blood of hayd, or maybe she was working hard at home and the discharge, it happens, it wasn't her time, many reasons. Then she, later on, she knows that it wasn't her hayd, it wasn't her period. They have to give the qada of the prayer they did not perform. Now, after the 3 days discharging, okay, then she becomes tahir. After that, maybe 5, 6, 7 days, let's say 7 days, she becomes tahir. Then the blood comes to her with the signs of blood of hayd for 7 days, and it was in her time, and this is her hayd. So how about this? So before, look, the nasiya, the mubtadi'ah, the muttaribah, and the women with fixed duration of habit, those 4 types of women, if they saw a blood continuing for 3 days, what she has to do? She's asking, what is my obligatory duty? You have to abandon, you have to quit your obligatory worship acts. Okay, she said, okay, I'm not going to pray. Later on, she becomes tahir, and after 7-8 days, she sees the blood with the signs of hayd and continuing for her period. For example, 7 days. Now, what she's going to say, which one is going to be her hayd? The second? No, the second discharge. No, we are dealing with those mubtadi'ah. You are right. That is with normal women. We are talking with mubtadi'ah, with nasiya, with muttaribah, or with the women with a fixed habit of duration. Not in general. This is not in general. This is only with these women. First of all, she said, I saw blood for 3 days. Okay, now what's my obligatory duty? Definitely this is hayd. Go and abandon your obligatory duties of worshipping. She said, okay, I'm not going to pray. Later on, she discovered that wasn't her hayd. She discovered the other discharge, not after 10 days, I said. Not after 10 days. The gap is not after 10 days. But she discovered that there is another discharge which is not less than 3 days and not more than 10 days, and there is no gap between them as 10 days. So we are going to tell her, that is your hayd. She said, how about the 3 days that I saw? That was istihadah. She said, okay, I quit the obligatory worship act. What I have to do? You have to give qada for the salah and the fast.
How would she know that the first one was with hayd and the second one is the hayd?
Yeah. How she knows? It is her period. She knows. Yeah, she is nasiya, but she remembers, for example, the time. She remembers the time. Okay? Or, for one example. This blood is not continuing for 3 days. It lasts for 2 days and a half. She thought that this blood will continue for how many? For 3 days. Now it stops before completing the 3 days. What she did, she stopped her obligatory worship act. Now, what she has to do? She has to give qada. Okay? This is one of the examples. Now, you still have a question. Yeah. Okay. Yes. If a mubtadi'ah, muttaribah, nasiya, and a woman with a fixed habit of duration see blood with the signs of hayd or are certain that the discharge would last for 3 days. Look, this is the last example that I told you, that the blood continue for 2 days and a half. She said, yes, the blood will continue for 3 days. Now, what shall I do? She said, we tell her that it is considered as hayd and you have to quit your worship act, and that's it. Then the blood stops. It does not continue and last for 3 days. So it is hayd or not? It is not hayd. So how about her acts? She has to give qada. But if they later understand that it was not hayd, they have to give the qada of the prayer they did not perform. Issue number 507. If a woman has a fixed habit of hayd, either of time or duration, or of duration, or of both of them, either fixed time of habit of duration, fixed time of time, or fixed habit of time and duration. And if she sees blood for 2 consecutive months, contrary to her usual habit, means not the same, in which she finds that the time, the duration, or both coincide, then she has formed a new habit. Like what? We have example. For example, if previously she saw blood from 1st to 7th, of a month, but during these 2 months she used to see blood from 1st to 7th. That was her habit, duration and time. But during these 2 new months, she saw it from the 10th to 17th. So the duration is the same, 7 days, but the time is different. The beginning is different. The commencement day is different today. From 10th to 7th of the month will be her new habit. So she will have a new habit from the 10th to the 17th. She cannot go back to her old habit from 7th to, or from 1st to the 7th. Yes, for 2 months. She has confirmed her habit to a new one, because for 2 consecutive months she sees the blood different, completely different from the old one. So she has to have what? She has to have this new one. So it is said that each woman has her own calendar. It is said that each woman has her own calendar. All right. Issue number 508. 1 month means the expiry of 30 days. This is what I'm saying. Each one has her own calendar. 1 month means the expiry of 30 days from the date of commencement. From the first day when the blood discharging, this is the first day of her month. This is the first day of her month of hayd, and not the period from the last to the last date of a month. Is this understood? The month, according to you, the month it start 30 days. The month, according to you, 30 days. That means there is no month of 28. There is no month of 29 or 30 or 31. Okay? All your months, how many days? 30. 30 days. Okay, from where can I count the first day? It is from the last day or from the commencement day? Yes, it is from the commencement day. That means from the first day when the blood discharged, I will count this is the first day of my month. So 1 month means the expiry of 30 days from the date of commencement of hayd, and not the period from the first to the last date of a month. And not the period from the first to the last date of a month. Issue number 509. If a woman usually sees blood once in a month, but in a particular month she sees it twice with signs of hayd. Look, this woman usually sees blood once a month. But in a particular month, she sees it twice with signs of haid. Both this discharge have what? Have the signs of red or black, gushes out with irritation, and so on. And if the number of intervening days during which she remained tahir is not less than 10 days, 10, 11, 12, 13, so on, she should treat both as periods of hayd. She should treat both as what? As period of hayd. This reminds, yes, you have a question? The mic, please, have the mic.
Here, the Sayyid didn't, or the Sheikh didn't mention the exception of Nasiya and Muttariba.
No.
So this
no.
is general.
General, yeah.
General. That's
yeah.
what I meant.
I'll tell you something. Maybe you will laugh at this. One of the women, her husband gave her divorce. He gave her divorce. So she has to wait how many? 3 periods. Okay, to get married. Immediately when he said that my wife, blah, 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 is taliq, okay, she sees the blood for 3 days continuous. And it bears the signs of what? Of hayd. Then she becomes tahir for 10 days. Then she sees the blood for 3 days with the signs of hayd. Then she becomes tahir for 10 days. Then she sees the blood for 3 days, bearing the signs of hayd. 10 and 10, 20. 3 and 3 and 3, 9. So she becomes tahir within a month. Then there is another man waiting for her. She said, you are welcome. Yeah, it happens. So these fixed days, lesser than 3 days or more than 10 days, the tuhur days, it should be not less than 3 days, are very important in order to mention what? The duration, mention the period at the same time. Issue number 510 and 10. Yes. If a woman sees blood with the signs of hayd for 3 or more days, and thereafter for 10 or more she sees the blood with the signs of istihada, and again she sees the blood with the signs of hayd for 3 days, she would treat the first and the last bleeding as hayd. Why? Look, again, I read this. This woman, she sees the blood with the signs of hayd for 3 or more. And thereafter, for 10 or more, she sees the blood with the signs of istihada. And again, she sees the blood with the signs of hayd for 3 days. So, 3 days or more bearing the signs of hayd. Then, 10 days or more blood with signs of istihada. Then she sees another 3 days or more bearing the signs of what? Of hayd. So, both the first discharge and the second discharge, which are bearing the signs of hayd, are what? Are hayd. While in the middle, the 10 days or more are what? Are istihada. Question? No question. Issue number 511. If a woman becomes tahir before the expiry of 10 days, she becomes tahir before the expiry of 10 days, maybe 9 days for example, and feels that there is no blood in her interior part, she should do ghusl. Look, she has to check. This is very important. She has to check. If a woman becomes tahir before the expiry of 10 days and feels that there is no blood in her, and feels, what does that mean? She has to check. She has to be sure that there is no blood in her interior part, because if there is a blood, that means she is still what? She is still ha'id. So she has to check. All right. And feels that there is no blood in her interior part, she should do ghusl for after checking for the acts of worship, although she may have a feeling that the blood might appear once again before the completion of 10 days. Look again. For the acts of worship, although she may have a feeling, she's not sure. She has feeling that blood might, feeling and might. There is no what? There is no acknowledgement. Not doubt, feeling and thought. Not sure. She's not realizing. Might appear once again before the completion of 10 days. And if she is absolutely sure, look, here we have, if she is absolutely sure that she will see blood. In the first part, what do we have? She wasn't sure. The completion of discharging before the 10 days, and she has feeling that may blood will appear before the completion of 10 days. What is her obligatory duty? She has to do ghusl and to perform her worship acts. Okay? This is her. Why she does that? Why? Because she is not sure. She has feeling, and she may, not sure. Now, the other part of this issue, and if she is absolutely sure that she will see blood before the lapse of 10 days, قبل انقضاء العشرة أيام, even then, as a matter of precaution, she should do ghusl and perform her ibadat. Even if she is absolutely sure, definitely no knowledge, absolutely sure. This is different. احنا عندنا ظن وعندنا يقين. ظن يقين وعلم. ظن ويقين وعلم. كل واحد إلى نسبة. ما قال عندنا شنو علم هنا. But she will refrain from doing those acts which are forbidden to a ha'id. Is this clear? Yes. You have the mic, please. Will you have the mic? Give her the mic.
She will treat herself as ha'id if she is absolutely sure or not.
Yeah.
As a precaution.
Yes, she has to treat herself as ha'id.
Yes.
And to refrain from doing those acts which are forbidden to ha'id. What does that mean? Her husband cannot come to her. She cannot touch the script of the Quran. She cannot halt in the masjid, and so on. Question? Issue number 512. If a woman becomes tahir before 10 days but feels that there might be blood in her interior part, she feels that, she should insert cotton. She should insert cotton and wait for some time to find out. If she finds out that she has become tahir, she should take a bath and perform her acts of worship. Why? Because she examined herself. She examined herself. And if the cotton comes out without blood, that means she is tahir. She has to do ghusl and to start doing what? Her obligatory act. This is very important. Look, again, if a woman becomes tahir before 10 days, but feels that there might be blood in her interior part, all right, she should insert, look, she feels, if she feels that maybe there's some blood in her interior part, what she has to do? She has to examine herself, to put some cotton in her private parts and to wait for a time, for some time, to find out. If she finds out that she has become tahir, she should take a bath and perform her acts for worship. And if she finds out that she has not become tahir totally, how? That the cotton has some blood, so she is not what? She is not tahir. And she does not have a fixed habit of hayd. She does not have a fixed habit of hayd. Or if her habit is 10 days, or if she has a fixed duration which is not yet completed. For example, before the expiry of days, her period of 7 days. Her period of 7 days. With the sixth day, she finds out that she becomes what? Oh, there is no blood. What she has to do? She has to examine herself. She has to examine herself. Yes. Or if she has a fixed duration which is not yet completed, then she will wait. She will wait. If she becomes tahir before 10 days, she will wait. She has to wait. If she becomes tahir before 10 days, she will do ghusl. She will do ghusl. And if she becomes tahir on the completion of 10 days, or if her bleeding exceeds 10 days, then she will do ghusl at the end of 10 days. That means day number 10, it is the end of her period, because we said that the maximum days of menstruated women, how many? 10 days, no more, no more. And if her habit is for less than 10 days and she is sure that the blood will cease before 10 days. Look, her habit is what? Her habit is less than 10 days. 9, 8, 7, 6, and so on. And she is sure that the blood will cease, will stop before 10 days, or are over, or by the end of the 10th day, or by the end of the 10th day, يعني في نهاية العاشر, اليوم العاشر, the blood will stop. She must not do ghusl till then. She cannot perform ghusl till that time. Why? Because in that time she will be menstruated. Before it, she is what? She is not tahir. She's still menstruated. At that time or after that time, she will be what? She will be tahir. Sorry, I said she will be tahir at that time. So she has to wait at that time. And she is sure that the blood will cease before 10 days or are over, or by the end of the 10th day. She must not do ghusl till then. And if she has a feeling that her bleeding might exceed 10 days, Now she has feeling. She is not sure. Look, these issues are very important for your ibadat. So please try to discuss them. Try to inquire with each other. Try to ask until you memorize all these cases, because you don't know, there is a variation with discharging, and you have to know in which type your blood is. Okay. And if she has feeling that her bleeding might exceed 10 days, it is a recommended precaution. It is a recommended precaution that she avoids acts of worship for a day or up to the 10th day. Either one day or up to the 10th day. She has to wait and to examine herself. She doesn't know. Maybe the blood will discharge again. So she has to wait and to check out. But this rule does not apply to those women who have had continuous bleeding before the days of her habit. But this hukum to wait for a day or up to the 10th day, it does not belong to whom? It does not belong to those women who have had continuous bleeding before the days of her habit. Why? Because they have a bleeding, so they don't need to wait, because they are already what? Menstruated women. Otherwise, it is not permissible to neglect ibadat after the days of habit are over. After the days of habit are over, does not neglect. What does that mean? That means the days after the 10th? No. No. Did we mention that she has to wait one day or up to 10th? We mentioned that or not? Don't we? We did mention. We said that she has to wait for one day or up to 10th day. So, what she has to do? We said she cannot pray. She cannot do her ibadat with that in that day, because she does not know whether the bleeding is coming back again or she will become tahir. So after she becomes tahir and there wasn't any blood in that day, one day or up to the 10th day, she has to go over and to do what? قضاء. ما فهمتوا يمكن. احنا مو قلنا راح تحتاط بيوم او بيومين الى العاشر. مو تمام؟ ايش راح اسوي؟ صلي؟ تقول لا ما اصلي، ما ادري بوضعي شنو انا. فشنو راح اسوي؟ راح انتظرت ما سوت لا عباده ولا شيء، فعلا الى يوم العاشر فيما بعد بقتها شنو؟ طاهر. ايش راح تسوي؟ تقضي هذا اليوم او اليومين اللي احتاطت فيه. واضح ان شاء الله الفكره؟ طيب. Last issue. Issue number 513. If a woman treats the blood she saw during certain days as hayd and did not perform her acts of worship and comes to know later that it was not hayd. Don't forget, these are general rules to all types of women. Okay. All right. Now what she has to do, this lady, and comes to know later that it was not hayd, she should give qada of the lapsed prayers and fasts which she left out. Why? Because she left her ibadat within these days, and then she realizes that she was what? She was tahir. So she has to go over and to perform her qada ibadat for salah and fasting. And if she performs acts of worship under the impression that blood is not hayd, but realizes later that it was what? The blood of hayd, and she was hayd. But in spite of that, she was what? She was performing her ibadat, like salah and fast. Okay? Then realizes later that it was hayd. Then the fast kept in those days will be void, and therefore she should give qada of those fasts. She should give qada of those. How about the prayers? You have the mic. I need one to talk in the mic. Where is the mic? Where is the mic?
She will not give qada for salah.
Why?
Because she was haid.
Yes. A haid woman is not obliged to perform any ibadat, and any ibadat she does while she is in menstruated situation are what? Are void. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa alihi tayyibin al-tahirin. Allah salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.